Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sleepy Jazz, and in today's video, I am back at Conria's door because new theories have been speculating about the door and about Conria, and of course we have new lore about Conrians and stuff like that, but that doesn't have anything to pertaining to the door. Today, I want to go back on my video that I made a while ago, one of my most viewed videos on, actually my most viewed video on my channel, where I analyzed Conria's door and the area surrounding it, and I also made theories and guesses on how we could possibly open the door, and somehow with like the worst thumbnail I could have ever possibly made, it somehow got thousands and thousands of views, which was awesome. But anyway, I'm going to be talking about the door, how I think we're going to open it, because I think we might have a final answer, and it actually probably lays with the god statues and Oculi. So if we take a look at the door right here, you will see that there are approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 round, half like red spots to the door, not including these two, obviously. They're not red or round. And I thought that maybe that these had something to do with the door opening. However, I didn't know what could possibly fit into 8 slots, but with us now having Lunoculi, we now have an 8th Oculi that will fit into each slot. So say for example you have the Geoculi, Cryoculi, Animoculi, Hydroculi, Electroculi, Dendroculi, Lunoculi. I'm missing one. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna do it based off of the nation. Okay, let me do it in the nation order. Animoculi, Geoculi, Electroculi, Dendroculi, Hydroculi, Pyroculi, Lunoculi, and Cryoculi. We now have 8 oculi that we can fit into these holes, and actually the funny thing is, as you guys know, whenever you're exploring, you'll find all oculi, you'll realize that you have 1 extra left in your inventory, no matter what area you're in. Now, the oculi don't really have anything in the description that pertain to the door. All it says is a substance that has accumulated intense hydro, for example, energy offered to the statue and help it resonate its power that it has lost over the years. So the reason why I think that some of the archon or even moon goddess statues will play an important role in this is because I think this is where exploring is going to become very, very important. So to those of you that hate exploring, I am very sorry. And I mean, I don't know how true this is necessarily, but this is just something I thought of. Because obviously, even if you don't have to fully explore, it's easy to have one of each oculi, but what if you have to level up the statues to their maximum level because it is something to help us with opening the door. So not only do you have to level up all the maximum statues, you have to make sure you have the last oculi. I don't know if they would make things that complex, but I'm about to go and look up, in the description of the statues so we can look into this further. So from what I'm looking at, it does seem like each statue does have its own definition unique to the nation. Doesn't really say anything about Khaenri'ah, but I mean obviously it probably wouldn't, but it does say a monumental stone statue that watches over Fontaine. Legends say it was sculpted in the image of the Hydro Archon. And like this part after that is like kind of always different, depending on which Archon statue you're looking at. But again, I mean, I think it's just food for thought. Like, imagine if you, like, had to go through, find every freaking oculi ever, level up all the statues to their maximum level, and then you can enter Conria, because that's how sealed Conria is. However, it seems like by the looks of the statues, they go off of, like, the current Archon. I think because, like, the statues in Natlan are actually of Mavwika, and of course she is not the original Pyro Archon. That is obviously, I forgot his name, but they seem to go off of whatever Archon is current and not the original Archon. And of course, it is the original Archons that actually fought in Conria. but I don't know if these could have been carved after the destruction of Conria or before, and maybe there's just some like magic or whatever that changes the statues to where they have the current archon. But I mean, again, considering a lot of the archons, well, I don't think all of them died in the war with Conria, but I mean, again, just food for thought. It would be cool if you had to level up the statues completely before you could enter Conria, but I don't think they'd make things that difficult. But again, it would make sense if Conria was sealed tightly shut, but I do think that the Oculi will be used to open Conria's door. But also, just as much with the Oculi, it could actually pretty much just take every Archon, including, you know, Kalamina, the Frostmoon Goddess, to open the door to Conria themselves. But I think it mostly has something to do with the Oculus because, of course, again, why do we have one extra of each Oculi? A lot of people were thinking that it has something to do with the fact that the Traveler can obtain every single element of Tevat. However, there is nothing really that we can obtain with the new Lunoculi. I mean, we do get some, I think, special abilities whenever we are in Nodcry, but again, we don't have any, like, elemental... Well, I mean, obviously there wouldn't be any elemental thing, but it's like, you know, again, like, it has nothing to do with an element, so that does kind of cross out that part. And some people were actually theorizing that you'll use all of the Oculi to ascend to Celestia because of this one place that I do believe is supposed to be located, like, somewhere in the middle of the map or something. Like, I think it would be, like, right in here or something. But I don't even think that's, like, the official full complete map. I really think that was just something fan-made. Or, I mean, it could be a real thing, but it could have nothing to do with the Oculi. But it had, like, different little, like, things. I don't know, but I really think they do go to the door, especially with us now having Lunoculi and having one extra in our inventory. Also, I do believe leveling it up just gives it the ability to have more, recovery on the statue's blessing. But I mean, I still think it'd be really cool if they'd, like, made people, like, go explore, and they're just like, hey, go explore, you have to find all the Oculi and stuff. But I don't think they're gonna make people do that. I mean, it would still be a fun thing, at least for me, because I love exploring Genshin. But also, like I said, well, for the player that would be too difficult. However, I think that there definitely is going to be something that I'm missing here with my theory of opening the door to Conria, because, you know, obviously the Oculi are just freely scattered throughout Tevat, which... I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted because you're talking. But obviously the Oculi are just, like, freely scattered across Tevat, and I think it's not just going to be as simple as putting some Oculi at the door. There's definitely more to it that isn't as obvious to the eye as the Oculi and stuff is. I was also going to say it makes sense because in the center of every Oculi it's, like, circular, but the Geo-Oculi kind of just would make me sound stupid because the Geo-Oculi is a triangle. And I'm talking about the center part, by the way, so don't come at me in the comment section being like, that's not a triangle. Obviously, I still feel like we might need Dane's help opening the door, but with what's about to go down in Snezhnaya, I really feel like, and this might sound a little crazy, I really feel like Paimon might actually be a key piece to this puzzle. I feel like, you know, because Paimon, for a while, she doesn't know, like, what she fully is. No one knows where she came from, or what she's even fully really capable of. However, obviously, in the trailer of, in the live stream for 7.0, they show Renova, the Shade of Death, trying to attack Paimon, and no one really knows why, and no one knows what's going to happen to Paimon, but I feel like Paimon does have some sort of powers that she just hasn't been able to use yet because she's still in her, like, weakened state. And another thing that I was obviously clued to this by is, like, whenever we were playing in the recent Sumeru quest where we have to once again fight the Torre, Paimon randomly goes off with Wanderer and talks about how she thinks she's weak and helpless and isn't able to help the Traveler that much. So I obviously, as someone who knows story and lines and how they go, this obviously is probably going to lead up to Paimon having some sort of secret, big, huge power that's going to help us unlock this door. Because obviously it wasn't just the archons who were a part of this, it was also the heavenly principles and yada yada yada. But obviously, again, I've looked at Paimon, I've called her a mysterious character before, and I have said several details about her. She really looks like she's related to Celestia or something that's not inside of Tevat. However, I don't think, however, she is not listed as a descender at all. But honestly, just looking at her, we all know Paimon is a key and important part of the story, besides just being a random travel guide fairy. I really think that she's a lot more powerful than what she was telling us at first, but I think she just doesn't know that because we fished her up out of the sea when she was quite literally in a coma. But I think she could definitely be one of the key parts into opening this door. And also, just in case anyone is about to say, what if we just don't open the door to Conria? What if we never get to? Sumeru is one of the only nations that we currently have that does not have one of these little extra areas. In Khaenri'ah, obviously this is in Inazuma, Sea of Bygone Eras, that's for Fontaine, Temple of Space for Mondstadt, the Chasm, Liyue, Ancient Sacred Mountain for Natlan, and even Frost Moon, which is for Nodcry, obviously. And obviously we don't have one for Snezhnaya because Snezhnaya is not out yet. Also, the Frost Moon's really cool. But anyway, I think that Conria might just be the little second or slash underground area that's in Sumeru, because Sumeru is the one that breaks this pattern of having a secondary off-grid area that's obviously related to the nation. But assuming that Snezhnaya gets one, I really feel like Khaenri'ah is for Sumeru, and the reason obviously why Sumeru doesn't have one is because this is it right here. This is what's going to be Sumeru's secondary location, or Sumeru's secondary area of exploration, is Khaenri'ah itself. But I also feel like if Paimon doesn't play an important role in helping us open the door to Conria, she's definitely going to be a key role in us ascending to Celestia. But I feel like she might also have the ability to help us open the door to Conria, because obviously, after Snezhnaya, I don't know if, I think do we go to Conria first, or do we, I don't know if we're gonna go to Conria or Celestia first. I think that's still a surprise for everybody. But I really feel like Paimon might be a key part of this. I don't know what she could do. And who knows if she was even around during the time when Conria was destroyed. But also, all things considering, it most likely is Dane's sleeve. He might be finding out how to open the door to Conria, and he might actually already even know the answer, and he just hasn't told us yet. But with all events that have happening, I still stand on what I said. I do think the Abyss is going to try to open this door to Conria, but obviously they won't be able to because they don't have the Oculi like we do, probably. Unless somehow our Abyss Twin has more extra Oculi that were scattered and ends up trying to open the door and we have to stop them. Or they're going to try some artificial Abyss magic way to open the door and it's not going to work, or it's going to cause an absolute catastrophe and we have to stop them from opening the door, or open it ourselves just to avoid the catastrophe. I don't know. Or I think what's going to happen is Dane will open the door to Conria, and it'll actually attract the Abyss monsters, including our Abyss Twin, because obviously, I feel like if we open this door, it's going to do some changes to the Abyss, because obviously these monsters were originally people from Conria. And also, fun fact, all Conrians are actually descendants of the Tsaritsa, which is a major lore drop. So the Tsaritsa is related to the Abyss, and also this, well, somewhat, but Tsaritsa is related to every single Conrian ever, which is crazy. But I think that the Tsaritsa will also probably give, like, us the answer on how to open the door to Conria, obviously, because the Tsaritsa is very much anti-heavenly principles and stuff like that after the destruction of Conria. But who knows what's gonna happen. But anyway, I think that's all I have with my ideas on the door. I just wanted to give you guys an update because it's been a while since I talked about Conria's door. Well, I mostly just went around, looked at stuff, pointed stuff out, but My dog has his toy and he's just growling. Also, again, I really think this was like a bridge and then it just got broken. But this is like the most interesting place, and I'm like we are getting so close to it. And I really can't wait. Also, this is a giant door. This is a really giant door. You know, it'd be funny. What if Conrians were like giants? Or this is probably just for their big robots to get through, though. Wait, no, they're definitely not giants. Never mind, scratch that. Because of all the like their technology and stuff that's down there that way is like regular size for humans. So they definitely weren't giants. This is just for probably like they're big robots. But my thing is, how did those really big ones here in Sumeru get through this big door? I mean, this definitely has just, well, I don't know, it's been here. I don't think this just appeared whenever, like, Conria was sealed, but I am really excited to open this door, and I wish I could just walk up to it and open it right now, because I would if I could. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!